Hi, and welcome to the Society Table. My name is Jillian, and I'm the Director of Community Development at the Darling Society. And this is Bree Lever with me, who helped architect this space for our community. Together, we're going to give you a quick tour of what you can find here and how our members use this space. We hope you get some new inspiration for how to design your own Circle community.
Yeah, hi everyone. We had so much fun dreaming up the spaces that you're going to see here in a second. And of course, keep in mind that this is the home for all things in the community, and a community is made up of people. And just like how people are always changing, so will this space. So if you pop into our community right in the moment when you're watching this, it'll likely look a little different than what you're going to see in this video right now. But that being said, we'll do our best to give a high-level overview so you can get a sense for what happens here. But before we dive in, Jillian, do you want to give a little
Yeah,
overview of what Darling Society is and who will be in the community?
yeah, for sure. So Darling launched a decade ago as a print magazine. They were the first print magazine to not retouch any women's faces or bodies. By issue three, they were self-published, they were crowdfunded on Kickstarter. By issue three, we were picked up by Anthropologie and the mission started to spread. Darling then morphed into a media company at the same time as continuing to print issues seasonally. And our founder, Sarah Doubledam, always had a dream of bringing this conversation around beauty and what true beauty is, and sort of these super unrealistic standards that women subscribe to and the negative narratives that that creates in our minds into the fashion industry. She made, waves in the beauty industry. And as a result of some serendipitous conversations and some incredible financial backing that came through, Darling is officially launching a clothing line and moving into the fashion industry in May of 2023. And at the same time, Sarah has always been asked if we have an ambassador program because people want to carry the mission and message of Darling forward into the different corners of, where they find themselves. And so this is our first opportunity to really launch an ambassador program where we'll have women all throughout the country, 500 of them for this first season, taking our product into homes, meeting with women over dinner, starting a conversation. The product, the clothing, and also home goods is really the magic wand to get us into women's lives so that we can start to redefine their idea of beauty and how they view their own bodies. The moment of getting dressed in the morning is really what starts our day off. And so if there are any insecurities that moment is reminding you of, or if there's any things you're looking at on your own body or face wishing were different because of a standard of beauty you've been told your whole life, that really starts your day with that insecurity. And so we are on a mission to create a movement of women all across the country through this ambassador program who speak so differently about themselves and help women speak differently and believe differently about their beauty inside and out. And so with that, Circle is our place to house all of our ambassadors.
Mm, I love it. It gives me goosebumps still. We've talked a lot over the last couple months, but I still get goosebumps hearing it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jillian. And something that I've loved about Darling for years is that you all have always been really event-based, and so much of what you do is centered around conversation. And so made me really excited when we are trying to figure out the best home for Darling Society ambassadors specifically. Circle was a really obvious option. So let me dive in here because meeting in person is obviously ideal, but it can't happen all the time. And so they needed a space that was all in one that could virtually hold the community and the content. So we decided to house the Society Table here in Circle, and I'll share my screen so everybody can see it. Because we knew we wanted something that had a simple, beautiful, and really sleek user experience to house all of the events, conversation, and content for Darling Society. So rather than having a separate platform for virtual calls, a million emails every time you have a question or somebody has a question for you, and then a separate tool for a library of resources and training, all of this could be combined in one beautiful space here in Circle. So one of the things that we considered in the architecture of this space is how the interactions in the community will happen in the context of events, conversation, and content. And we wanted to understand how each of those pillars, events, conversation, and content, would help members take three main actions. One is getting started, second is getting help, and the third is getting inspired. So once we created an ecosystem map, it became really clear that we wanted a group of spaces that were really clearly indicated for helping people get started. So which is why we have our welcome space here. In addition to that, we have more of our kind of live conversation and events all happening in the community space, and then a separate group of spaces for long-standing content. So this is more like a library and a home for trainings. Jillian, do you want to talk about our Get Started space?
Yeah, for sure. So our Get Started space here guides people through the steps to get up and running in this space. When we launched, we left email notifications on for when a new introduction was posted, because we felt like it was really important that people got to know each other, and we wanted them to get used to hearing from us, hearing from Circle, get used to popping into Circle to meet new people. And for anybody who, wasn't familiar with community platform, we just wanted to keep it on their radar that this is something that we're building and wanting to foster really warm conversation and connection through. And we also added an FAQ space for how to navigate Circle, which we thought was really important for those that didn't have any experience on a platform like this. And next up, we should show the community space, the main group of spaces where all of the action happens.
Yeah, so when we were architecting this group of spaces, it was really important to keep the layout simple. And one of the ways that manifested is by having just one space for conversation. So rather than having a ton of different chats or channels for different topics, we started with one place for all conversation. So we're still getting things warmed up in here, but you really, as a community builder, you really want the conversation space to feel full and active and a little bit overwhelming. It's the nature of a stream of conversation, but you also have to coach your community on what to do with that. So we tell them that conversation is like an ever-flowing river. It's okay if it feels overwhelming, but the best way to dip your toes in is just to read a couple of the recent posts. We always tell them to leave a like if you read something so that we know that you saw it, and comment if it speaks to you. And so we tell members that just to help them get used to how to use the space.
Yeah, and announcements is where our HQ team will post any information that our ambassadors need. Members get emails for every time a post happens in announcements, and also when there's a new event created. Over time, we're going to add more resources and trainings through the new courses space, which is really, really exciting for us to be able to use and bring forward to our community.
Yeah, and I'll just give a gentle nod to one of my favorite features in Circle, which is the customization for each space. So not only can you customize the visibility and the notification settings, but we also have a group of spaces for founders, the first 25 founding members of Darling Society. So it was really awesome that we were able to customize this space so that it's only visible to founders, and we can have that communication be a little bit separate, but also still in the same place. So overall, this has been such a fun project to craft this all-in-one space for Darling Society. And Jillian, I guess if someone's watching this and they want to learn more, if you're like speaking their language, how can they learn more?
Yeah, we'd love to connect with anyone. So just DM me if the ambassador opportunity is something you're interested in personally. DM me and we can get you all of that information. If you would just love to hear more about our mission or be involved in another way, we love collaboration. We'd love to get to know more people that are existing on this online community space. So DM me, or you can email us at info@darlingsociety.com.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. And we hope you also build thriving communities in Circle. Thanks.